Been dragging the bottom for oh so long, but I can feel that power running strong. It's in the air, I can feel it now.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Leroy and I are in the house tonight. We got a whole bunch of stuff to cover. I'm going to drop the notes right now. Leroy, say hi to everybody.
How's it going, everybody? This has been a soggy day up in Ohio. We've had a lot of rainstorms. Wondering how everything is going in your neck of the woods.
It's good. You're coming in a little low. Just give me a quick test. We forgot.
Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. How do I sound? Is that any better?
Give me again.
Check 1 2.
That's too hot.
Is that good?
Yeah,
too
bring it
hot.
back down a little. Yep.
All right. All right. How's that? Any better?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll see throughout the night. But right now that looks good. Father gets justice. An illegal immigrant takes out his baby daughter 15 months after his wife dies of cancer. This is a sad story. Swalwell is a dink. I couldn't use the Chinese racial slur, so I came up with dink instead of the other thing it rhymes with. Waltz is out. Santos goes with no dignity on his way out. Trump crushing it. Fox, MSNBC, Miller versus Media, Jettisoned. We're covering it all. Let's get to overtime quick tonight, guys. The Avs are playing. Thanks. That I hear most often, that I always try to help people connect the dots, is what is past is prologue. And although Shakespeare not my favorite, it's an interesting thing when you look at 1980 and the crack epidemic and what the United States government was involved in with the Contras.
No kidding.
So I don't understand why people are so shocked and they call Roseanne a conspiracy theorist. Because there's evidence in the past of the government getting involved in this, and there's plenty of books on this, and you can read this.
Here's what I think. I love your show, by the way, Matt Spear, and
Thank
watch
you, ma'am.
Just discovered you about a week ago.
Ma'am,
oh my God, this guy's a genius. The facts he can spew.
God, I love you.
You can spew fact, and that's the sign of a genius.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I appreciate you asking me that.
So you just made my life.
I do remember back when they were bringing the crack cocaine into the black neighborhoods, and that proved that the CIA was doing it because they were grooming that population. And
adjusting transmitter output.
The Dumb Show. May 16th, 2025. 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. One goal, one night, one chance. Chris Peranto, Laura Logan, Roseanne Barr, Jason Shepard, T.S. Dixon, Damani Felder, Barry Morgenstein, Ryan Samuels, Lisa Regina. One night only. The race to 20K is on. Be part of it.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
All right, we dropped about 6 degrees in between then and now. Did you hear all that? The stress?
Yeah.
No, before that. No, like during like the last 30 seconds, how crazy it got?
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh God. So as soon as we logged in and the show started, it jumped up to 172 degrees. And like if you get to 190, your computer's done. You're melting cables. So I was like, Olivia! And so she runs in and I'm like, unplug the back of the computer, all the cables, right? And so she unplugs all the cameras and I'm like, no, the other one, put that one back in. And then she puts in the wrong one. Like, no, not that one, this one. And I'm like, you got 30 seconds. And we finally got it. So that's why all the cameras are off. So dude, last night was crazy. So what happened last night is that we hit like 166 degrees on the computer. And because you got to understand, I mean, this thing, I've tried to explain to people what's going on in this room. And you've seen it live now, so you know. Yeah. So it's an incredible.
Got a lot going on in that room. The set looks amazing, but everything is kind of tailor made specifically to focus on one specific area. And when you have that much electronics and that much basically electricity being pumped into that room, it's going to get warm.
It's insane. So what had happened was last night it starts kicking up, right? And we can't understand why, because we've had summers in here before, but it's running 3 cameras. We've only usually run 2. I have my other one up here that I run. And I'm like, okay, screw it, just get rid of it. So we go to the living room, we go into there where the AC unit is, and the whole house is hot. I'm like, what is going on? Well, one of the cleaners, when they were here, left the window. We have collapsible windows that open up from the top so you can clean them. And it was wide open, pumping like 90-degree air into here. And it was creating a vacuum because we had the downstairs sliding door open for the dog where it's nice and cool. As you know, you've been here. You know what's down there. It's cooler. So it's creating it's sucking all hot air in. And we don't even know how long that's been going on. So needless to say, it's been hard. So I had to buy today, just when it rains, it pours. This is this show. Hold on one second. And when it rains, it pours is I had to have a solution. Now, there's 2 solutions we could have done. Buy a brand new Mac, which is $2,300. This is a 2020 Mac, and it's state of the art. It's perfect. It's just, it needs, they're not designed to do this. They're not designed to be a media center and run all of this equipment. They're like a secondary system, not a primary. So I started researching, and it's like, okay, I can buy a new Mac, but we tried that, and it didn't work. So I started looking into it. And what I found is that there is a bus that you can buy, a terminal bus. It's like a tower for a Windows PC, but it's like a shoebox. And inside there, it's got API slots, so I can take like Windows media cards and use those media cards. So what I did is I bought this tower that works with Mac with a bus. And I can put this Blackmagic 4 HDMI 4K independent card on there, and then the video processing will pass through seamlessly. It's just like sending a video signal. So the computer will no longer have to process the video signal. It's just being fed into it, and it's $1,000 solution. But we're going to need to do that anyway with a new Mac because the Macs aren't designed to take 4 4K cameras. And when we do the new set, we're going to have 4 4K cameras.
That lightens the load on the Mac immensely, right?
Massively. massively, because right now it's got it did have 3 cameras coming in, running at 4K, 1080p, 256K audio, and it's got to convert that down into 1080p and then up convert it again. So that's the way it works. Now, with this new system, it will pass through 4K with no problem, and it's already being processed by the card off board from the computer's memory. So, I can just use this slot and put in 256 gigs of RAM if I want to, which you don't even need to because it's just a passive system. It's just taking independently and processing through Thunderbolt all the information. Yeah. So it's going to save us a shite ton of headaches. The system will run faster. We'll have a higher quality picture, and it'll be much better. And I tell you this because I want to keep you informed. But that's the investment we had to make today. It's already dropped down 7 degrees. So by running one camera, so it's just it's the name of the game, folks. This is what it is. So that'll be here Saturday. We're very happy, and that's going to stop a lot of problems. Make sense?
It sure does. You got a lot going on in that room to begin with. I mean, I could see where some of the electronics in general, they don't like heat. And so all that has to be dissipated or managed in some way. Yeah, right. I get it. I know the struggle.
So I'm cranking the fan, and we've turned off some things and saved some energy. But this will no longer be a problem on Saturday. So, and when we get the new room, you're adding, and you've seen the great room. It's 4 times the size of this. And oh man, wait till you see the design. I got the design finished. I'm going to give you a quick look, and I think this is what we're going to do. And then it's gonna fall into something like this. Bear with me. I want to complete it and give everyone the grand tour, so to speak. But this is a kind of a sneak peek for what the motif will kind of look like when it's finished. And here it is. So that's what I am thinking that I'm going to do. So have a brick art. Nice. Isn't that cool? Yeah. That so is. Have a stone wall behind, have a shelf that comes out, and then we can put TV up there, the Don't Unfriend Me logo, and then have recessed lighting. So this is what we're thinking. I'm going to go ahead and do. And then, of course, all of our swag and everything else will fit in there because they're 12-foot ceilings. And this is only representative of about 6 to 7, 8 feet. So that's what we're thinking, and we're pretty excited about it. So there it is.
Oh, that looks great. Yeah, that's going to be amazing.
It's going to be a lot of work. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Leroy and I are wearing the same hat tonight, which is interesting. I very rarely wear anything but black, blue, and gray, and some white. But the brown shirt came out today, and I was like, well, this hat will look good, and here's Leroy with it. So, yeah, we want it to be a whiskey bar setting. We want it to be kind of like rustic, medieval, kind of stuff.
I love that vibe, too.
Yeah, Swiss chalet.
It's a little more casual, right? So that it's supposed to be kind of a looser atmosphere so we can have longer discussions. Yeah. Because when everything is kind of formal and kind of uptight, it's hard to be as open and honest. And that's kind of a very inviting setting. It's an inviting room. Yeah, it's going to be nice.
Yeah, and what I love about it is just how it flows. The back, the stressed out, reclaimed wood on the top, and then this giant shelf that runs perpendicular, and then the lighting underneath will just make everything kind of pop. We're excited, and I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to take some time. Need a walk-in freezer for all the computers. It's interesting. We're going to build a studio room inside that room for all of the electronics, and that's going to have its own vent. So there is a vent over there. In the great room, we have 4 vents, so it doesn't get hot at all. And we're going to take one of those vents and have it in one of those smaller rooms, so it'll take care of it. But yeah, so anyway, this will be in our house, and it's literally right out this door across the entryway into the great room. And it is a long, like 25-foot long room and like 14 feet wide. So it's like a box car.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have a ton of room there to build a custom desk, and then the backdrop, and then have seating positions for 4, and then have a control center for everything too. So I mean, listen, we're making the plans, and we want it to crush. So there it is. All right, so let's get to it. I want to start off with something. Did you have anything? You know, you've been so patient. Listen to me ramble.
No, no. Today has been kind of a weird day. Like I said, there was some massive storms that blew through here pretty quickly, and when I was on my way home, I just kept thinking to myself, my God, I hope the sump pump keeps up with this. And then by the time I got home, everything was like perfectly normal. Like, so I rushed home for basically no reason, and I was in meetings all day, so I haven't really had a chance to keep up with too much of the news.
Got it. Well, we're going to go ahead and do that today, and I certainly appreciate everybody being patient. Goal is set. James Cody came in with what looks to be a $118 difference on his check that he sent us last night. So thank you. We did hit goal. I'm hoping we can hit it again. It's been a slow month. We want to start off May right. And of course, we know everyone's saving for the big show. But if you don't mind, if you have the ability, go to the dumbshow.com/donate, and we will have the goals put through the rest of the night. Let's share this out to Twitter if we can. It's a little bit slower already, but I think everyone's probably getting a late start with all the crazy weather. So this has
thank you, James.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're kind of having a little bit of a snafu here. And I wanted to bring this up. So this was, let's see if I can zoom this in here. See if I can make this bigger. And no, that's the one limitation with this stuff that I would love to see, is to be able to zoom. Nope. Okay. So I'll just read it to you. Thank you, Nancy Jennings, $5. Kamala, WTF was that? And Charlie Kirk rocked it today. Love you guys. Yeah, I heard Charlie Kirk had a good show. We'll talk about Kamala here in a second. Thank you for your super chat. We appreciate it. So here's what happened. Justin Barclay was who I love Justin, and we share each other's stuff, and you know, he's a good dude. I've been trying to get him on the show for a while. It just hasn't panned out, but hopefully someday soon. He makes just a post and says Trump embarrassed Michigan Governor Whitmer again. And you guys remember that I had that Whitmer video. So I just said, hey,
Right.
I did a quick video on this today. She is swimming backwards, is what it says. And then Justin comes in and says, it's fantastic, right? So he had a chance to watch the video. He liked the video and put that on his page. Well, all of a sudden I go on there today and I didn't know what to expect. So I just started reading, and, you know, there's a bunch of likes on there from people, you know, about the video, and they're laughing and, you know, whatever. Then this guy, Tim Finch, no idea who this guy is. I guess he's a former fan. I never heard of him in my life. I know nothing about this guy. He says, your show sucks anyway.
Okay.
I used to follow, but you're a butthurt crybaby. I know you don't care that I don't follow, but you suck.
Yeah, jackass.
Right. So I replied, show me on the doll where I hurt you.
Right.
And then this guy named Dennis K. French comes in. Nice guy. He says, and you are just a fool. So there is that. So he tells Tim Finch he's a fool. Dennis, I don't know if Dennis watches the show. I'm assuming he may or may not. It doesn't matter. But he was already, this guy was getting called out. So then Tim Finch says, and I pardon the French here, he goes, how do you figure that, dickhead? Because I called out a weak jerk who denied there were problems with the 2020 election just so he wouldn't lose viewers on his shit show? Saying that the election wasn't stolen doesn't help you gain viewers in the Republican world, bro. I'm just letting you know, number one. Number two, I never said there weren't problems with the election. I just said it wasn't stolen, that they did it with the legal ease. Like they tried to destroy Trump with lawfare. They used lawfare and COVID to hide behind. That is what I said. You just want me to say it's Dominion servers and George Soros and Buenos Aires and the Nashville call center and all Dominion servers.
Nowhere at any point on this show has that ever been the pushed narrative. Not ever.
Never. Not once.
So this
Not
guy
once.
is basically fabricating the story for the sake of trying to insert a narrative that doesn't exist.
Correct. Then he gets the big old surmise here with, by the way, I love your wife's mustache. So poor Dennis just comes in and disagrees with him, and this guy starts ripping on his wife. So then he says to me, get some new material. Do you still deny that there was no corruption in the 2020 election? Well, that's very different than what you just said.
Those are two different things, yeah.
And I have never, ever denied that there was zero corruption in any election, even for dog catcher. He says, you made yourself irrelevant when you effing said that on your show. And then you played tough guy with somebody in the comments when they challenged you. You are weak. Dude, you're going to love the ending to this. You're going to love this, dude. You're going to love this ending. So then Dennis French says, like I said, fool, and that pretty much proves it. If you are not following it, how can you be commenting on it? Everyone sees that. Have a great day following it, is what he says. Then Tim says, did you see in my comment where I said I used to follow it? Are you blind? Did you read my comment? Or did you just want to run your effing mouth? Wow.
People love to talk big on the internet, man. I'll tell you what.
Don't they?
There's so much name calling in here. And I have always approached debates from the aspect of whoever's the first one to start throwing out name. You suck, you dickhead, you fag, whatever the case is, you're the guy that just lost because you can't make your point intellectually.
Well, this gets better. Dennis Finch says to him, ha, 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 and laughs at him and then just checks out, right? So, of course, I can't. I got to keep going. And I said, calling me weak for clapping back? You sound like a jealous ex glued to every word I say. Keep pretending you're above it while foaming at the mouth in the comments. Not sure if you've been in a coma or just terminally clueless, but Trump won. And you want to talk new material, you're still crying about 2020 like it just happened. And then I put a tactical operator with a keyboard in his hands. And then I reply to his other thing, and it says, all in alt caps and quotes, used to follow till my vagina got sand in it. And then I went and I tracked this guy because he has a zero profile, right? He's an Anon guy. Doesn't have any pictures on his profile. So I went and found him on another social media platform, and I grabbed a picture of his wife because he started it with that other guy. Right, and all I put was projection, smiley face, because she's a peach. And then he comes back like 4 hours later, and he's like, what is projection supposed to mean? And I'm like, oh, I got him. Like, this guy's triggered. Now this guy's triggered, right? He's triggered. Like, he's like, how dare you bring my wife into this? It's like, oh yeah, bro, I did that. And then he goes, remove the photo. Now you have been told in my state, when a person has been told to remove an image that doesn't belong to them, that person has 48 hours to comply. Then you are subject to prosecution. You've been told. Oh my God.
I don't think it works that way.
And I put, no problem, right after you apologize to the guy whose wife you trashed. And then I said, bro, I am laughing so hard at you right now. So I hope he comes on. I hope he calls in. I hope against hope. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
So many people get spun up. Damani, who will be here on the 16th of this month, folks. He was one of the guys who caught my ear when he said that during these types of political debates, that whoever angers you becomes your master. And that's an old Greek philosophy, but yes. And same thing applies here, man. Just people are owning themselves literally because they just can't control themselves. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I hope he calls in. I really do. And everyone goes, well, Matt, why do you pay attention to these people? Folks, I've made a living off of these people. Why would I stop now? There's There's no reason. This is fantastic. That's why, because they get away with this type of stuff, and I am very good at hitting people's trigger points. And with a long enough timeline and enough replies, I'll figure out what will hurt you, and I'll use it against you. If you just would have said, you know what, I didn't like your show and I don't like your takes, but you know what, that video you did was okay. Then I'm like, oh, well, tell me what I could do. What could I do better, right? But of course, Justin Barclay's just laughing his ass off and just leaving it alone. It's glorious. But anyway, let's get to the show. We've got enough people on. It got busy, which is good. We're up to 100 and almost 95. So that's great. We got a lot to talk about. 10 years. Yeah, we do. Thank you for your donation, Bobby. The boys are back. Going to be a great show. Love y'all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bobby.
Already at $51.99. Good to start the show off right. Over 10 years ago, Chris Odette lost his wife to breast cancer. Horrible shame. And 15 months later, his daughter was killed in a crash caused by an illegal. For nearly 10 years, his daughter's killer evaded justice. He was finally just arrested by ICE. I'm sure there's going to be a judge any minute now who's going to go ahead and block his deportation, because that's what these people do. And I've got another one to show you that's just horrendous. But go ahead and watch this, and we'll do some comments on this too. Here it is.
Yeah, we spoke to this father who is a veteran and single dad. He has spent more than a decade fighting for justice for his 13-year-old daughter who was killed by an illegal migrant back in 2014. So Chris Odette, he sat exclusively with Fox. He says he dropped off his 13-year-old daughter, Krisha, at a sleepover. That was the last time he would see her. Rockwell police say Krisha was crossing the street, not a crosswalk, when she was struck and killed. The driver, Ramiro Guevara, an illegal migrant from Mexico. According to ICE, Border Patrol encountered him twice before Krisha's death. He was also wanted at the time for driving without a license and speeding. Just 15 months earlier, Odette lost his wife to breast cancer. He says he made a promise to his wife to always protect their daughter.
I lost my entire family in the span of 15 months to a disease that couldn't be prevented, and then to a crime that was 100% preventable.
In 2014, a grand jury decided there was not enough evidence to support criminal charges. He was released into the community, allowing him to just roam free. In 2017, an immigration judge ordered him removable, but he was not caught until this year. ICE arrested him just weeks ago on March 26th.
I had told her when she was alive that if someone hurt her, there was no distance that I wouldn't go to protect her.
And Odette says that if immigration laws were enforced, his daughter and thousands of others would still be alive. Yeah,
before we chime in, and I know you've got some weight on this and have an opinion, but I just want to say I am so sick of hearing illegal migrant or illegal immigrant. They're not immigrants. They're not migrants. They're illegals. They're criminals. I don't care if it's a misdemeanor. Second occurrence is a felony. But an immigrant, someone who moves to a country other than their own with the intention of living there permanently or long term, immigration involves legal processes such as visas, residency applications, asylum claims. Unlike a migrant who may move temporarily or for seasonal work, an immigrant usually seeks to settle and integrate into the new country, and it is illegal to work in this country without proper paperwork, an I-9, et cetera, and to be a U.S. citizen unless you have a visa. So when we say an illegal migrant or illegal immigrant, it's an oxymoron. It's like saying an honest politician. That's what I wanted to add to it. I really am so sick and tired of hearing that, no matter how hot she may be. Leroy, go ahead.
Well, no, and I completely agree with you. I mean, I think you probably could have already assumed that. And, from the standpoint of how we view the people that are jumping over the border, I saw a meme the other day that basically said that if you skip due process coming in, you shouldn't get it when you're going out. And there's some truth to that. I may not believe it 100%, but there's a 99%. I'm like, yeah, I get it. If the problem is that we had a politician who chose not to enforce the border, let in all of these illegals, just as Matt said, and with no background checks, with no tabs being kept on crime spikes or the things that were happening, fentanyl or human trafficking, the things that were coming over the border. And now we see all of these crimes where people were either being raped, murdered. What did you think was going to happen? So this is just sad. I feel terrible for the dad, obviously. I mean, it's not right. It should have never happened.
Yeah. It's just, they're criminals. They're illegal. They're violators. They're border jumpers. That's it. It's like, if you don't like the moniker, then don't do the crime.
Right.
And, we have to, you know what? I'm wondering if we should do this. I kind of want to create the Golden Rule podcast. Maybe we should rename the dumb show and call it the Golden Rule podcast. And every time that we have something, we try to roll it back to what we learned in kindergarten. And one of them is that if you don't want to pick up fleas, don't lay down with dogs. This is a perfect example. If you don't want to pick up fleas, then don't lay down with dogs. And if you're going to sit here and say, I don't want to be called a criminal, then don't do the crime. It's pretty simple. The Golden Rule states, treat others the way you want to be treated. Do you want have someone go into your backyard or go into your fridge and drink your beer or sleep with your wife? Probably not. So if you don't, then treat others the way you want to be treated. The Golden Rules, everything I learned in kindergarten. Everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten would be great.
There's another one that says that you are what you repeatedly do.
Right.
You are what you repeatedly do. So if you repeatedly jump over the fence and commit crimes, guess what? You're a criminal.
How exciting is right down here, dude? Just
Roseanne
Barr, Tonto, Laura Logan, Dixon, Felder. It's going to be a great night.
I watched Chris's podcast, and there's so many more questions that I want to ask him now.
Isn't he awesome? Doesn't he run a great show?
He really does.
He really does. He's like he should be up there with Sean. He has that simplistic demeanor, and it's nothing about. He's very, very intelligent, very smart, very sharp. But he's got that comedic value. He's very, very intelligent. Tommy, I will start this day out. Come on, dummies, help out. $2.31. Yeah, we need to hit this thing tonight. I got to watch the Avs tonight. This could be their last game of the season. I have a feeling that it won't be, but I'm not going to pretty much say anything. Toronto needs to learn how to close the season out, and the Avs need to understand that they have got to play to their full potential. There's no reason Dallas should beat them. If they do, it's a travesty. Jerry Swalwell, right coming up next.
6 p.m. to 11 p.m. One night only. The Dumb Show is hosting a night built on something real. No filters, no corporate sponsors, no gatekeepers. The call went out and the right people answered. Chris Tonto Peronto, Roseanne Barr, Laura Logan, and they're joined by T.S. Dixon, Damani Felder, Barry Morgenstein, Lisa Regina, Ryan Samuels, and Jason Shepard. Follow along at The Dumb Show and get all the details at thedumbshow.com. The race to 20K starts now. Be part of it.
May 16th, folks.
I love that guy's voice.
We got it.
Do you have him on like style?
Yeah, he's in England, and he's a radio DJ, huge DJ in England. And his name is Chris Madsen, and I've been using him now for a year and a half. And I just say, Chris, I need this, and then he charges me so many pounds, and I write the commercials for him, and he reads them off, and he gets them back to me in like 20 minutes. And he cuts the stuff behind it. He's amazing, and I think I've given him probably $600-700 over the last few years. But
Join Wimkin.com. The Soul Dumb Store is veteran.
Adjusting.
Yeah, that one.
The Dumb. May 16th.
He does them all. So he's done all of my intros, and then the video. He laid the track to the video too, which obviously.
The Dumb Show. May 16th.
Yeah, so he's awesome, dude.
I had a lady at work tell me, and I was very calm, one day, and we were just chatting. It was very quiet in the room, and I had this woman tell me that when I talk slowly and with purpose, I kind of sound like Liv Schreiber.
I don't know, but
Never heard.
I don't know. I know who Liv Schreiber is. I got someone said I look like him at one point. Yeah, he's Cotton Leary. So that's interesting. Okay, let's see. Swalwell. This guy is such a clown. If you don't know who Swalwell is, this is the guy who you can just smell him through the video. You just know there's just something about him. He was the smelly kid in school, and he's
President.
Sandra Edwards, 565, starting early tonight. Thank you, ma'am. That puts us at $59. Thank you, Sandra.
Nice.
Here's Swalwell. Trump has now deported multiple U.S. citizens' children with cancer. Oh my God! Rolling Stone. Oh wow! You know what? They sure gather no moss.
Credible source, sure.
Sure, right? It is. Rock and Roll Magazine. It's like ESPN doing politics. Here it is.
The president deported a 4-year-old American citizen with cancer, stage 4 cancer. Took him away from his American citizen father and his American cancer treatment. People just wanted cheap eggs. Now you're deporting kids with cancer. We are so far off course from where the American people wanted this administration to go. I'm going to lower costs on day one. He's 0 for 100. Today, we saw that the first time since 2022, the GDP is going down. Your 401ks are 201ks. We had hoped it would just be a Trump slump, but now it's a Trump train wreck. But it's not just pocketbooks. It's our values that are under assault. A 4-year-old American citizen deported
to
while
where?
Fighting cancer. And that's
I'll tell you in a second.
That's just one of the worst things I can think of a government doing to its own people. But I guess it shouldn't surprise us that the gang that put national security secrets in the group chat, or the gang that fired CDC measles experts as it was raging in Texas, or the gang that was laying off people at the FAA as planes were crashing. I guess it shouldn't surprise you that their incompetency and their cruelty would merge and bring us this.
Okay. So let me get the story straight. Donald Trump personally went to the home of an illegal immigrant who they thought wound up being an American citizen, and rounded her up and deported the children, popped the IV out of the child's arm.
Right.
Went ahead and you know, took off their hospital gown, got the kid dressed, black bagged them in the head, threw them in the back of an unmarked van, and flew them to an undisclosed country as the child withered away with cancer within a matter of 2.5, 3 hours of a flight, and subsequently deteriorated in front of everyone's eyes. That's what happened, huh? Because I heard a different story. Now, the story I heard is that the mother was illegal. And the mother is an illegal. And they were going to deport the mother, who had deportation orders. And the mother said she wanted to bring the children with her, and the children agreed. So they were deported too, as American citizens, as they were born here, wanted to accompany their mother, and the government did so. Now, Rolling Stone and other ones don't tell you those things, but PBS and Washington Post and other people also don't. They also say that they weren't allowed any due process, that ICE would not let them get a hold of their doctors, that she tried to bring their cancer medication and they said no. So once again, unnamed sources, accusations. Listen, Obama, within the same period of time as Donald Trump has been in office, both times, 3.5 million, 1 million didn't get shipped, total of 2.6, but it's closer to 5 million illegals Obama kicked out of this country without these due process trials that they want to have. Not hearings, not paperwork, like an overstay visa is simply just literally revoking the visa and then you deport the person out. That's the due process. But now we got to hear about 401k. We got to hear about the stock market year over year, which is actually better off than it was. Yes, we had a dip. Yes, tariffs are high. Yes, we're going to go through some pain points. But
thank you, Chester. $10.80. Thanks, Kev.
Taking a story like this, and it's very much like the liberals with abortion, right? My friend who's Jewish, black, with one leg, a lazy eye, who has a penchant for narcolepsy, and stutters when she sings Blue Bayou, who was raped by a gorilla, needs to have an abortion. And it's growing in utero in her left knee. And if we don't do this, not only will she die, she'll lose her leg, and then she'll be a legless one-legged pirate, which is really just a deck swab. So we need to get her some help. Thank you for making the most extreme, most horrific case ever and emotional fallacy argument for me to go ahead and collapse on the other 67 million babies aborted because of your sad story. Yes, it sucks a child with cancer is gone. Yes, it sucks his mother was illegal. That's a shame. But I'm sorry, due process that you asked for doesn't stop because your kid has cancer. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Leroy.
Well, this whole story, from beginning to end, is about shock value. This is politics. This is the very definition of politics, is to take a story and aim it through a particular prism so that you get maximum shock value. And headline after headline, right? They always have to be corrected. And it doesn't matter when, like the front page is always like this emotional clickbait. And then what you're going to find out is that in 6 months' time, right, they'll print a retraction and an apology quietly on the back page where no one ever saw it or hears from it again. But it doesn't matter because the damage has already been done from the very first time they aired it. And they know what they're doing.
Right. Holman even said, he's like, the mother chose to take the children with her. He said, if you're here illegally and you choose to have a U.S. citizen child, that's on you, on what to do if you get deported. Listen, if we bring emotion into this, we'll never deport anybody because every story is going to have it's going to be sad. You know, my husband is an MS-13 gang member who beat me, who punched me, who hates me, who deals drugs. He's horrible. I put up many, many reports. Then I found out we were going to be deported and go back. And I'm like, he's a great man. I love him. He's a Maryland man. Okay, well, that's a sad story. And it really sucks that you got your ass beat. But guess what? We don't want you here. Get the fuck out of our country. Pardon my French.
That's this exact same argument that they will use. And I guarantee it's coming up at some point that they will use and have used every time there is an unfortunate and sad shooting of any kind, a school shooting, mass shooting.
Right.
What they'll say is that, or the implication is, of course, is that because this terrible thing happened, that you, Mr. American, who hasn't done anything wrong, because you own guns, you really should turn them in. You really should give up that liberty because this terrible thing happened. It's the same. It's the same argument.
Yeah, your conscience should be should be enough to ensure that you turn in all your guns, right? I listen, there's a sob story for, that's like someone come up and go, Mr. Ramirez, see, you killed 27 people. See, some of them women. See, some of them children. See, senor. See, senor, senorita. Why? I don't know. No, seriously, why? My father, he touched me. It's horrible. I had to come up across the Rio Grande. I had to eat mud. Made mud pies. They're horrible. I had to work at the Home Depot outside. Paint houses, mow lawns. Horrible. I got chlamydia. It's just terrible. Used to eat hot dogs from the waste receptacles in 7-Eleven. That's a really sad story. Now get out of our country. Right. Everyone's got a sad story. Everyone's got, okay, who cares? You're an illegal. We don't care. Right. Get out.
At some point, you have to be held accountable for your actions. We expect that of all Americans. Hell, the Democrats are expecting to use that exact line of logic to almost quite literally lynch every MAGA, lynch Trump, lynch everyone on the right. They want to hold everyone on the right accountable for their actions except their own. And if we can as Americans, accept the fact that I am personally held responsible for the things that I do, all right, well, that's a right-leaning philosophy. Somehow that's white privilege. Somehow that's doesn't apply to anybody who is a person of color.
Right. Or is a Republican.
Right.
Which really is what it comes down to, right? So I'm just so tired of this argument. Donald Trump should just deport by bus, by plane, by rocket, by train. I don't care. And just round them up and get them out. And you know what? Settle the lawsuits. Yeah, you might break a couple eggs. I understand. Okay. From the party that threw people into Japanese internment camps by the hundreds of thousands, you guys have some nerve. Okay. You have some nerve. If I'm not mistaken, there were a few trees in the South that have the blood of African Americans on by the Democrats' hands. There were plenty of African Americans who died of syphilis and gonorrhea as you injected into black people and did the Tuskegee experiments. We know what happened to the people who supported the Underground Railroad and the people who were caught using the Underground Railroad and what you did. We also know that Confederates target black African Americans on purpose and officers who were supporting black Africans. So
thank you, JD. $15. Thanks for being here with us. Thank you, JD.
So stop pretending. The only reason Democrats were even concerned with civil rights had nothing to do with being altruistic. It had to do with shifting their voter base. Just read up on the Great Society. That's it. That's LBJ. You can sit here and go, oh no, the Great Party switch. Yeah, we're going to talk about that when T.S. Dixon gets here. We're going to talk about it on the 16th because that's the one thing I wanted to talk to him about because I know a lot about it. Leroy knows a lot about it. He knows a lot about it. And it'll be amazing. All right, let's rock and roll. We got something else to do. Be right back.
Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time, and we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation. We appreciate you more than words can say.
If Donald Trump wants to solve the border crisis even more, and this is more about immigration, right? The border crisis, he's above water. He's like 69-70% on favorability, but immigration's dropping, and it's about ready to go down below 50%. America's not really happy. Here's what you do. All Canadian illegals in our country, overstay visas, whatever, or just straight up illegals, send them to Mexico. And all the Mexicans that we catch, send them to Canada. You want Mexico and you want Canada to solve the border issue for you? Do that. Start deporting. Don't take them to Martha's Vineyard. Don't drop them off in New York or Illinois. Put them in Alberta. Put them in Toronto. Parachute them. Drop them off. Canada will fix that shit right quick. And let's face it, Mexico doesn't want Canadians in there in any way, shape, or form. So that's what I suggest.
I was thinking about this while we were on break real quick. There was a English jurist, and I want to say his name was William Blackstone, who had this world-famous saying that said that better that 10 guilty people escape than one innocent person suffer. Okay. Now, play that forward. That definitely sounds like a legitimate, we can definitely figure out which side of the political aisle that would be supported by right now. But then there was another one by Nikolai Yezhov, Russian. And this was back during the Alexander Solzhenitsyn days. And he said that better that 10 innocent people should suffer than one spy get away. And right now, I just can't tell. I can't tell where.
I do. Is that is collective groupthink. I disagree with all of those. Any of those. It's just like, it's better that, 10 go free so one innocent man doesn't get put to death. I disagree. That's not individual rights. That's collectivism. That's groupthink. Every single case should be individually based upon the merit of the case and nothing else. No other consideration should be made. And if you focus on the individual case and the individual rights, you'll never have to be groupthink. What did you say, Angel? I volunteer to take to the Canadian border. It's the one closest to me. Oh, I don't know what you said. I said that? I don't know.
I think she's volunteering, maybe.
No, I don't know what she's talking about.
Oh.
Canadians would melt in the Mexican sun. Now you're starting to understand. And Mexicans will freeze. Listen, Canada's just a bunch of snow Mexicans anyway. Let's be honest. So you are our legal people.
That's how you get Mexican fried ice cream.
Yeah, you're our illegals to the north. Say gay North Dakota. Here is your video. Enjoy this.
All right, there's a breaking news that happened in the commercial break. So what you're looking at photographs right now of Michael Waltz. He is the president's national security advisor, except for we just got news that he is going to be leaving the administration along with his deputy, Alex Wong. Of course, if you might remember the story of Signalgate. I don't know if that's for a particular reason, but there was some consternation among some people about Mike Waltz, who you might remember was a congressman, Green Beret, a long history and career in foreign policy. And I believe...
All right, let's discuss. Angel said, I said take them to Canada. Oh, I didn't get that from your post.
Hey.
Sorry. Whatever. Okay. But I wanted Canadians to go to Mexico too, so I didn't see that. I apologize. Here's my... Let's just have the conversation. Was he released because of Signalgate and his choice of deputy director who ultimately wasn't vetted properly and set up the signal chat? Was that why he was released?
Probably. But we don't know for sure, right?
I heard some things about him. Do you remember last month when I said a little birdie told me that him and Hegseth were bumping heads and they don't like each other very much?
Oh.
And
Okay.
Waltz, in my understanding, is that he and Hegseth didn't like each other very much, and that this whole signal thing could have been to lay at Pete Hegseth's feet to get Hegseth kind of railroaded. And the second thing I heard, which I absolutely believe, is that he's a war hawk. And he has been advocating to go into Iran and to strike and hit Iran. And Hegseth is like, if we need to, we will, but that's not your decision. That's my decision. And, you know, sit down and STFU. But this is what I'm hearing. So the deep state runs deep. And I'm not saying that Waltz is, but if you've been ousted from your position this quickly for a very prominent position that it's extremely important.
Right.
You did something to cross the stream so much.
Right. And so I see where you're headed with this. And this is one of those cases where maybe you ruffle enough feathers, maybe you disagree publicly or privately, loud enough that with one or two errors on your part, inviting a reporter into a private signal chat, that's an error. And it's a big one because the cost, again, this is all politics. This is about optics. The optic that was painted around that was that, oh my God, Pete Hegseth doesn't know who he's in the room with. And then all of a sudden, that gets painted as incompetence. So if you are one of those types of people that has publicly or privately debated your boss in a boisterous manner, but you have those kinds of errors in your background, they're probably not going to keep you. They're going to say that is reason enough to get rid of them,
Yeah, you know what's hilarious is nobody's made this connection, and I'm going to go ahead and make it for y'all because I love you guys.
I love you too.
Read that.
The article, the Atlantic interview with Donald Trump, a conversation with the president about executive power, Signalgate, and 24
karat gold.
Huh.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now I can. 24 karat gold. Yep, you may have said it, but it skipped. So nobody finds it strange that Donald Trump volunteered 8 days ago to sit with Jeffrey Goldberg, the person who they invited on the Signalgate. Then subsequently does a one-on-one interview with this man who has been a Trump hater. And then 48 hours after the article's released, Mike Waltz is fired. How much do you want to bet that Mr. Art of the Deal said, sign me up with Goldberg, get me an interview with him, I want to talk to him, sits down with him, and the first thing he says off camera is, I'm going to do your interview. You can ask me anything you want. We can talk about anything you want. I don't care how vicious you get, whatever. Nothing's off the table. But I need to know, do you know Mike Waltz? And I need you to tell me now. For national security's sake, I need to know if this guy's a good guy or a bad guy. How much do you want to bet that that's exactly what happened? Because the timeline is just too... and I haven't heard anyone say anything about this. So if there's somebody else, please let me know. If there's somebody else who's mentioned these... I know Bongino's not here, so I know he didn't do it. I know, and usually Bongino, somebody would say, no, Bongino didn't do it, or Matt, yep, Bongino did it this morning. But has anyone else heard that? Joe Ann Lutman says, donated $5. If everyone does $5, yeah, if everyone did $5, we would hit goal right now. We'd crush it. We got 212 people on. Everyone did $5. We're out of here. We're out of here.
A whole lot of
that's
happy
simple.
here. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, we're speculating. But my source, and I've got a couple of them, say that this guy was a war hawk, that him and Hegseth did not get along at all, and that Waltz kind of had it out for Hegseth. And when I was reading today, I ran across the Atlantic article, and so Goldberg had an interview with Trump? How is that possible? And then literally like 5 minutes later, Waltz is fired. That tells you something. No, JD. He's not giving up a source. The source has already given up. The president of the United States asked a reporter for a good faith conversation that as president, I'm asking you that there's an open investigation, and I'm asking you personally, did you know Mike Waltz before my administration? Did you have his information? Did you have his number? That's not giving up a source. Everyone knows that Goldberg was invited. Now it's just a matter of how or who. Or maybe he asked him another question. But whatever question he asked got Waltz fired. I'm telling you that much. Yeah, and Wong was fired too. Well, because Wong is the one who set up the group chat. But you and I both know that Waltz probably went ahead and... Something's rotten in Denmark. I always told you that some reporter added to this with their initials changed on an iPhone. It's dude, I showed you Waltz's record on his whatever app he had that showed all the emails, and like 7 of them were reporters for liberal newspapers. Waltz seems like a deep stater. You know what I mean? So when did that interview happen? Well, it happened within the last 8 days because Trump said 8 days ago. And the article was released on what, the 25th? So within 72 hours of Trump making the offer, him and Goldberg sat down. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's my thought.
It is oddly timed. Yeah. You can only draw, I mean, just based on the timing alone, you can draw certain speculations, not conclusions, but speculations, you know?
You and I both know how slow government works, and this is all happened very fast. Very fast. And the timeline doesn't add up because Signalgate Part 2 just hit. So you wouldn't want to draw attention to it by firing him, you see? So now the blood's in the water. Now they're going to go, okay, well, we want Hegseth now. So you don't release this now unless Trump was like, I can't trust Waltz. That's my point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It lines up to me. Here's 2 people I don't want in the position. Okay. For let's see, he was national security director, right?
I think that was Eric, right? Oh, wait. He sat on the House Intelligence Committee. I'm thinking of the wrong Swalwell.
No. I'm talking. Sorry, we crossed streams. We went back like 2 topics.
Sorry.
I'm asking. It's okay. I'm talking about Waltz. Mike Waltz. Was he national security director?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so this is a big position. Here's who I don't want: General fucking Flynn and Mike fucking Pompeo. Okay, do not put Flynn and Pompeo. Flynn is a nutter, and Pompeo is deep state. I'm sorry. You guys, Matt, how can you talk about General Flynn? He's a hero. No, he's not. No, he's not. And I'm sorry. I edited one of his podcasts, and oh my God, I literally wanted to slit my wrist to see color. I talk a lot, totally true. But this guy went on for 2 hours. The host asked one question, and he didn't shut up for 2 hours. And it was like flat Earth, you know. Oswald did it with frickin' Michael Jackson on the moon with frickin' Elizabeth Taylor and a B-25. Woo, cuckoo.
You know, it's funny you say that. It was on the ride home, right? I pop on the radio, and one of our favorite guys to pick on, what the hell's he's on the radio?
Cenk Uygur?
No, the radio.
Is he a liberal?
He's
on the radio.
Crap.
Liberal,
Anyway,
conservative, moderate. What is it?
Conservative.
Sean Hannity.
No, but it's a guy he's butted up in the same time slot. We talk about him sometimes on the show. He's a little short guy who's he tends to flip flop a lot.
Eric Erickson.
Eric Erickson. I was listening to Eric Erickson today, and he was talking about some power outage that happened in Portugal and Spain. But he took, I joke you not, I was like, get to a point. I was literally saying to myself in the car, get to a point. Must have said it 4 times. He must have went on for about 15 minutes on how nuclear power works.
Yeah, I do it too.
Can you just make your damn point?
I do it too. I'm along, but if you notice my short videos now are all like 5 or 6 minutes, I've learned. Like, I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to deliver like the punchline and get the essence of a show. But I'm sorry, I've been killing on those
I've
videos.
seen
They're
some of your
5.
shows, and they're amazing now.
They're
Amazing.
5, 6
and they were
minutes.
good
They're
before. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're quick and easy.
Yeah.
But that's why I like the live shows. You know, and even our interviews, we're getting better. We're getting better all the time. We're drinking milk, folks. George Santos. Villalobos Ramirez. This is the conservative that I just can't stand. This guy. This guy's such a Magoo douche plow. He has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for all of the things that he did. And good, I don't care. Republicans deserve to go to prison as well. But now, after you held the position as state legislator, you had an opportunity to say this stuff under oath, to swear on an affidavit, to bring formal charges as a whistleblower or indictments. And the only reason you're blowing the whistle now is because you got caught. I don't feel for you. You're going to love prison, George. Like, seriously, you are going to be like, for 3 cigarettes? Absolutely. I'll roll over for that. And you're going to love prison. So just enjoy it. But here he is. It feels like I'm taking off on Republicans tonight after Flynn. And you know what? I'm sorry. I've got an opinion.
Okay.
Here's Santos.
Harsh with that party too. Yeah,
we do. We've got to be harsh with our party. And Santos deserves to be in prison. So here it is.
So, members of Congress that should be indicted but never probably will be. Ilhan Omar, immigration fraud. She married her brother to become a resident. Yeah, true. Nobody's talking about that. Rep. Thanader from Michigan. Well, animal cruelty, identity theft, all sorts of different freaking issues that he's done with his shady past. Nothing's going to happen about that either, I believe. Has anyone found AOC's missing $1 million from her campaign? I'm waiting, asking for a few friends. Oh, and let's not forget, there's a good old Adam Schiff. He's never going to see justice. Indictment for him? Never. Oh, what about the inside traders, like all the allegations around Pelosi, Dan Crenshaw, Nicole Malliotakis? What about them? Are they ever going to be indicted and investigated? Just curious. Oh, and then there's all the sex scandals, right? I mean, I can name them, but those are so long. But pretty much about half of Congress. Anything about that? Oh, and then there's Jasmine Crockett's grandma receiving Social Security payments for 11 years after she passed. It's just... Well, anyway, I just figured I'd share a few thoughts, and those are thoughts in my mind. I think it's time we start really putting metal the pedal, because why not?
So a comment that was just made, I want to read it. Angel, you're good. You've overcome a lot with daily seizures and traumatic brain injury. I don't care if you spell everything correctly. I'm just glad you're here. It's almost like somebody's trying to talk to me passive aggressively through chat. It's not when somebody makes a claim that, hey, I said that and I couldn't understand it. It doesn't mean that I'm insulting somebody for not being able to articulate themselves through chat because of seizures and traumatic brain injury, because I'm aware of both and I'm empathetic. My point is that I couldn't read it and understand it in order to say the same thing. So that's what I was saying. So sometimes, here, I'll write my own. It's okay just to be really direct and ask me a question without slow rolling it and covering it and masking it as something that it's not. Enter. Come on, Ames. I think you know me. I'm certainly not doing that. I'm just trying to give the information the best that I can. And I didn't understand Angel's sentence. And that's not a knock on her. It's just I didn't comprehend the sentence and I couldn't connect the dots on how she thought that what she said is what I said. That's all. So, heart, XO, I like your new vehicle. It wasn't directed at me, Matt. It's kind of hard not to feel like it was. So I assumed it was. So here I am assuming. That's why we clarify, right? So thank you for telling me. It just felt like it was. Thank you for telling me that it wasn't directed at me. Santos, what do you think about this guy? Winner, chicken dinner?
I like him.
So,
I'll tell you what. What's really nice about videos like that is that he doesn't make any outright claims. He basically
Right.
just asks questions.
Yeah.
What about this? Don't you have questions about this? What about that? Do we have questions about that? You know, that is a very fair way to say, this is my way of drumming up some level of intellectual curiosity to start to get people to think and to question things. I love that.
I hate it. I hate it.
Oh,
I hate it. I think it's chicken shit. I think you should say you're sorry. I think you embezzled dollars. I think you had campaign fraud. I think you are a cheap grifter who should be ashamed of yourself and spend the next 7 years reflecting on your sins. When you apologize for what you did and show a level of contrition, maybe you can go ahead and start pointing fingers. But when you literally haven't even gotten the shower and been fitted for your new orange jumpsuit, and you're already going ahead and throwing other people on the bus to deflect from your own crimes, I think you're a piece of shit. I agree with him. All those things need to be looked into, but not by you. You're a criminal. Right. You're a criminal. You had your chance, you shill. And we sent you there to do good things, and you ripped off the American people. Thank you, Angel. I never feel insulted by you or Amy or anyone else. I just thought that was directed at me because I'm the one that made the comment. But this is why I didn't yell or get upset. I just was like, hey, that felt a little passive aggressive, and it was very passive because it wasn't even about me. That's about as passive as you can get. So I apologize, Amy Stamco. I love your new vehicle, by the way. It's very cute. Screw that guy. Nancy Bolin donated $21.10.
Thank you,
so much.
Nancy. $21.10.
Did you see the list of what this guy did?
No, I didn't. Again, I'm going to plead some level of ignorance there. Yeah, I may have missed that.
So I heard on Fox News that Trump is going to put Mike Waltz as the U.S. ambassador to the UN.
That I heard something similar.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's not an upgrade.
I'm not sure that was verified or not, so that's why I didn't want to say anything. If that turns out to be true,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I need to find this out, because if that's true, Trump nominates Waltz to be the UN ambassador. He was national security advisor. Waltz out as national security advisor and tapped for UN ambassador. Why? Why? He must have something to offer.
It's hard to say.
No, it's not. Let's think about it.
Well, what I'm wondering is if the prior move wasn't, how can I put this?
He made a mistake making him NSA advisor. This is why. He made a mistake. Hegseth said he needs to go. So this isn't Trump. This is Hegseth. Because then he makes him UN ambassador. Trump would not. Trump doesn't fire people and rehire people, dude. You've seen The Apprentice. Trump never does that. Trump got him out because Hegseth wants him out. And he was creating conflict, but still finds value in him and made him a UN ambassador. So now my entire thoughts about
in an effort to split the kids up, so to speak, because they were fighting.
Right. Take them on different tables at Thanksgiving. Goldberg probably told maybe what he said to Trump was, no, I had no idea about this guy. And that validated Trump's suspicions and said, okay, well, I can still trust this guy. Now I just need to move him somewhere else. Because I'm telling you, the timing of the Trump article is still ridiculous. No matter what the outcome is, he could be trying to validate or got the validation he was looking for. Either way, making him a UN ambassador, Trump doesn't fire people and then reallocate them. Now, he has before. He must find.
Who did he do that to before?
Hold on. First administration. I'm going to find out for you right now.
God bless you.
I know.
Twice. That's all you get.
Yeah.
rare. It's a pretty rare thing when you hear
of
Trump giving people second chances like that, but it does happen.
Right. So this is the first one. I can't believe it. Jeff Sessions. So Jeff Sessions was Attorney General, and then he got demoted. John Kelly, he became White House Chief of Staff, but he was Secretary of Homeland Security. Rex Tillerson was Secretary of State. He was moved. Dan Coates, Kirsten Nielsen, Elaine Duke, Mark Esper, Anthony Scaramucci, McMaster, another big one, Mick Mulvaney. So he's done it a bunch of times. And then he did it with an ambassador again, and moved. This was kind of like a lateral move, but moved somebody for like ambassador to undisclosed country and made them the ambassador of Israel. It was the one, he's one of the gay Republicans. I can't remember his name, and I hate to say gay Republican because he's just a smart freaking dude, and I love him to death. He's on Fox all the time. But he became the ambassador of Israel. So it makes sense. He's done it before. And honestly, this is why I'd love to interview Trump, because I'd ask him, did you set up the interview with Goldberg to validate Mike Waltz and any suspicions you had? Were they obviously not declared, which is why you moved him into ambassador to UN, is you felt that maybe he was more of somebody who has a strong arm and could push and threaten, which is needed. Especially in UN. Nikki Haley was great at it. But this is what I would expect him.
He's basically trying to find the correct round peg to fit in the round hole. He's trying to find the right person for the right job.
Yeah.
And maybe for whatever reason, he saw those qualifications that he was looking for to fill that spot. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, and Mel said it best. We need a war hawk at the table for China and Russia. Absolutely. Well, the same thing was done with Trump's UN ambassador. Not Trump. JFK's UN ambassador. What was his name? God, it's not Abraham. I always Ari. God darn it! I'm getting old, dude. I know. And I should know because it's JF. No. Ari Fleischer was under Bush administration. I got Stevenson. Adlai Stevenson. God, fucking brain. It's Adlai Stevens. So Adlai Stevens was JFK's UN ambassador, and they didn't think he could do it during the Bay of Pigs, and during the Cuban Missile Crisis, he went in there and just laid it to the Russian ambassador, just crushed him. And that's what they need. They need an Adlai Stevens. They need somebody, and I can imagine that. So once again, I would still say that everything I heard is that Waltz is not doing well in the role. Pete Hegseth and him are bumping heads. This puts him on the other side of the universe, more in negotiations. It allows him to not necessarily be right in the same room with Pete Hegseth all the time, and whatever relationship that they had didn't go well. He's probably in the right spot now. Folks, $111.85. We are $289 away. We need to crush some donations here. It's 8:23. We will be leaving early so I can watch the Colorado Avalanche game. So we'll be right back. Oh, Mellow challenge continues. Let's go. Facebook, Wimkin, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble viewers. $2, you can do it. $10.80. What she's saying is that if everyone donated $2, we would hit it. We're trying to get more people to donate. This show's not cheap to put together. We do it for you, and we would appreciate it if you would not mind. Listen, what's $5? What's $10? Maybe you don't buy an extra vanilla latte. Maybe you go ahead and say, I'm going to downgrade my Netflix because it's all a bunch of propaganda for the left. Whatever it is, if you find value in the show, we would appreciate it if you would donate. We will be right back.
Show is hosting a night built on something real. No filters, no corporate sponsors, no gatekeepers. It started with a simple offer. A longtime supporter asked what it would take to build a real studio, a place where conversations stay honest, not bought and sold. He didn't just ask. He promised to match every dollar donated that night up to $10,000. The call went out and the right people answered. Chris Tonto Peronto, Benghazi hero who fought through the night when leadership abandoned them. Roseanne Barr, the voice Hollywood tried to erase, but never could. Laura Logan, the journalist who exposed corruption and never blinked. They're not coming for a paycheck. They're coming because the fight for truth is still worth showing up for. And they're joined by T.S. Dixon, Damani Felder, Barry Morgenstein, Lisa Regina, Ryan Samuels, and Jason Shepard. One night, one shot to show that real voices still matter. Follow along at The Dumb Show and get all the details at thedumbshow.com. The race to 20K starts now. Be part of it.
All right, Trace Gallagher from Fox News. He's somebody that I do like. I think Trace is a smart dude. Went after MSNBC for cutting away on Trump's Michigan rally in Warren, Michigan. Here it is.
They just cut away. Because after all, it's very difficult to tell people how bad things are when the president is up on stage telling them how good things are. 4 minutes into the rally, MSNBC cut away to say that prices are up, except that prices are down. Eggs are down. Gas is down. Energy is down. Network news credibility is down. But the resistance media isn't just playing Chicken Little today. Since Donald Trump took office, Newsbusters looked at 899 stories on NBC, ABC, and CBS, and 92% of them were negative. 92%. Even on immigration, where Trump is polling extremely well, the network spin was 93% negative. Hitting your thumb with a hammer has a negative rating of 89%. And during Joe Biden's first 100 days, the networks gave him 59% positive coverage. They just cut away. Because after all, it's...
So is there any possibility, you know, we got into it last night with Canada. And, you know, one of our viewers is like, well, Canada has state-controlled media. And I said, what the hell do you think we have here? When 92% negative coverage on Donald Trump, how is he supposed to get the word out? And what's amazing is that here's the conversation. Here's my premise, and you tell me if I'm off base, okay? We should get Employee of the Month shirts because we both have hats. We can get name tags and wear the same shirt. I mean, we could unionize this son of a bitch, and we could all have uniforms for our show. We should consider this. Yeah. Are we wearing ties and shirts for the?
I think I'm going to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to dress up for that one too. Or be yourself. That is me. We should dress up for this one. Let's suit it up. You want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can look perfect. I'm very well aware. You got to remember, I'm the guy that was cleaning off your uniform and getting you all squared away, big guy. I remember.
Yeah. It was like the tailor in the Deadpool scene. The last one kept grabbing my...
Well, I was checking to see if it was there because I was struggling to get a hold of it. So here's the thing. I'm going to make a series of statements. And please, true or false is not important. I just want you to confirm that this is the narrative. Trump's a rapist, an adjudicated rapist.
No.
Yeah, no, that is the statement. That's the narrative. It's 100% the narrative. Yeah, Trump's a rapist, right? He's an adjudicated rapist. Trump's a Nazi. He's the second coming of Hitler, right?
Apparently true.
He's going to ruin our democracy, even though we're a republic, right? Our country, he's going to overthrow, and he's going to run for a third term, and he's going to be a dictator, right?
Of course.
He's a failing businessman, and all of his business is bankrupted. He got billions of dollars from his daddy. He couldn't even run successful casinos. And I don't know if anyone knows this, but casinos are some of the worst investments you can possibly make unless you're the mob. That's why the mob runs them, so they can cheat. Donald Trump stole the 2024 election. Yeah, cheated. With Elon Musk's help. He's giving tax cuts to billionaires. He has a dirty diaper and smells. He wears Depends. That's what they're saying now too. He's 6'4". There's no way he's 235 pounds because they show a picture of a running back in, who's lean muscle and say, look at this person when they don't even understand anything. Fat versus bone density and overall size and overall chest size and all of those things make a difference. He's a big man, but that's fine. That Melania is held hostage, that he raped his first wife, that he sleeps with his daughter. Here's the narrative. Fair? All fair? That's the narrative, right?
Sure. That's the narrative.
And then here's my question. with all of those things, and we're going to assume that they're all true, how fucking bad must your candidate be on the Democrat side that you still lost? If
Thank
all of
you,
those
Charity.
Yes, Charity.
She said, there's always more to Trump than people see. Good show. Thank you, Charity Lamb. She donated $21.10. Thank you.
How bad? Thank you, Charity.
Oh.
How bad must your candidate be that the adjudicated rapist, destroyer of democracy, the Nazi dictator, sleeps with his child and daughter, went to Epstein Island and diddled kids? This horrible person is so bad, and your candidate still got shellacked. What does that say? And you controlled the media. Leroy, how in the fuck did he win? And your answer, and then I'm done, is that the reason why he won is because America is stupid. That's your answer. Americans are dumb. Is this party ever going to frickin' recover from that? They have a giant elephant man-sized ball sack on their face, and if they surgically remove it, they will die. They are literally, Donald Trump is a Siamese twin that shares their most precious organs. They can't cut him out even if they try. When he is gone, they will still, Donald Trump, they will have nightmares. Leroy, what is this party about? What do they run on? Who are they?
You know, it's hard to say, right? It's hard to say what the Democrats stand up for anymore. It's easy enough to say that you are someone who's a Republican. Like, obviously, hopefully, you will have gotten to that conclusion, gotten to that place in your political philosophy through just a modicum of research.
Right.
Something that always gets to me, and no one has ever been able to explain this. No one.
Okay. Here's my challenge. I'm ready.
I have heard, and I can't tell you how many times, from every major media outlet to every social media outlet, that Trump is a fascist. Okay,
right.
Let's go with that for a second. Let's
Right.
just assume for a second that you're right. Okay.
Right.
One of the key things that was noted after Hitler, after Stalin, and Xi Jinping is control of the media. And they always push the narrative that they want through their media, so that everyone in North Korea thinks that Kim Jong-un is God and that he can actually play 18 holes of golf with 18 strokes. People think that because that's what they hear in the media.
He can't.
So with that being said, if the media coverage is 92% negative, how can he be a fascist? How can that possibly, can anyone explain to me, if he doesn't control the media, how can he push a fascist agenda?
I'll tell you. I can tell you how. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's because you're stupid.
All right.
You're stupid. Leroy, you're stupid.
I get it. Stupid.
And so am I. We just literally summed up and destroyed every narrative that the Democrats ever said on this show. I don't think anyone has ever done it. So, I mean, back to back, like literally, here, you know what? Here, do it. Go back to back. Here. Just here.
Wait.
No, other dipshit, the other way, retard.
I'm trying.
Back to back. Here we go. Back to back. Bam. Went back to back and just dropped the mic that I can't drop. Seriously. It's 100% true. He's right. Now, they also take guns. But we're not going to go there yet. We're not going to go there yet, because then that transfers the onus of fascism to the Democrat Party, because they do run the media. They do want to confiscate your guns. They do want to limit speech. It's the very definition of fascism. It's not that hard. Joseph Hillstrom. Go ads and let's go wild. Abs good, ads all good. $10.80. We'll appreciate it. Shirley says, congratulations. I've got 2 more car payments left. I think It'll be there. Second time I've paid it off. Had to take the second loan for plumbing. It's a great feeling to pay things. Shirley, congratulations. Here's the other thing. I saw that one of our viewers who runs a page said they got 500 followers. I don't remember which page it was yet. I mean, but it's somebody who I know very well, and I can't believe I can't remember the name because I feel like an absolute douche plow right now. Living Patriots. Yep. Living Patriots. Congratulations to 500 followers. I remember my first 500 followers. It was like the most exciting thing in the world. I get it. Folks, we'll be right back. We're halfway there. We're halfway there. Oh, leave it on a prayer. Take my hand. I make it, I swear. Bon Jovi released one song on 7 different
like
albums.
Cartman when you sing that. I'm just going to point that out.
Living on a prayer. My kid's being a dildo. In the ghetto. Okay, here we go. We'll be right back.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversation.
I know one little kitty who's sleeping with mommy tonight.
Raw,
I give my titty post, Mom.
unfiltered and fearless. Big tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time, and we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or Mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
So here's the deal. Everyone's flipping out. Oh my God. The Harry S. Truman lost an F-18. It went overboard with its tow vehicle. How's it possible? What's wrong with the military? What's wrong with the Navy? Well, that's what happens when you, there is plenty. But if you're moving vehicles and you're moving F-18s, now, normally it depends. You lock down the quarterdeck, you lock down the flight deck under inclement weather in situations when you're not flying sorties and training missions, but you do have to move them. And you take them off the top deck and you put them in the hangar. There's an elevator that basically drops down on a carrier and goes into the air hangar. Now, this Super Hornet, unfortunately, was not. It was on tow vehicle, and it was in the hangar unit. And I'm going to show you the type of maneuver. Now, when people think of an aircraft carrier turning, let me show you what it resembles. Are you ready? Leroy, you tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, here is a 30-second turn going 4 degrees on an aircraft carrier.
It's about right. Dude, if it turns like that, that's a steep turn.
Okay, but an emergency turn on an aircraft carrier looks much, much, much differently. Let me show you what that looks like. And if you've never been a part of sea trials, which most of you haven't, Leroy and I have, you would know what an aircraft carrier can do. And let me show you what a sea trial looks like on an emergency turn, which nobody's showing you. Everyone's just assuming that they're just like lollygant and lollygag and lollygant and lollygag and lollygag. Turn. Oh, F-18 fell overboard. No, that's not what happened. What happened is the Houthis decided to go ahead and launch a surface-to-surface missile, specifically at an aircraft carrier, and because of its position was not able to intercept with its countermeasures, so it did what it's supposed to do, which is emergency procedure and an emergency turn. And it sounds something like this. General quarters. Okay, and then proceeded by batten down the hatches, drop your cocks and grab your socks.
So oddly enough, I'm going to speak to this real quick because this is actually something I have some personal experience with. when the electronic warfare, but now they're called CTTs, they're the ones who operate the electronic warfare equipment on the carrier. When they get notification of something that's inbound, and they'll call it a vampire, right? So they get notification of a vampire inbound. A lot of people don't know this. Those CTTs then take control of the ship, and they will tell the bridge, come to this heading at this speed right now. And so
why?
It wouldn't shock me.
Why?
So sure. When you have an aircraft carrier with a missile that is inbound, what they will try to do is tilt the aircraft carrier at some sort of 45-degree angle, so that if they know that a missile is coming in from a specific angle, then the CTTs will say, come to this bearing, this speed right now. And what that does is it gives the missile much less of a radar silhouette to follow. So it enhances the chances that the missile would lose track completely or just miss the ship.
And there's two areas that you don't want to get hit: midships and midships. So when you go to a 45-degree angle, you lower the overall sight line of midships and expose your aft and your forward parts of your ship because of that angle. It's just geometry, okay? Don't know what to tell you. It shrinks the overall vulnerability of midships, okay? That's why you do it. And also missile trajectory. The computer is going to plot a solution immediately, and it's going to tell you where to go to have the best chance of avoiding that missile. That is what he's talking about. Those are the three. So
exactly correct.
When this happens, this is what it looks like, folks, and this is what the media is not going to show you, but I'm going to show you. And this is why you should donate, and somebody should just bring us to 300 right now. Please, can you help us out? We need to get the hell out of here. I want to go watch my game, please. Thank you. Here is this video. You're not going to see it anywhere else but here on the Don't Unfriend Me show. Tell me this doesn't bring back memories. Memories.
On a dime.
Tom Shin. I also, USS Enterprise. That was in Con 7th Fleet. I was on the USS Blue Ridge. Let's have a conversation, man. I was on the Enterprise for 3 months, TDY. So if you want to have a conversation, we might have hot racked each other. Yep.
A 90-degree turn inside of about 7 seconds.
Yep.
On an object the size of the Empire State Building.
And let me tell you, you are pulling some G's. If you are not ready for that turn, you are going against the bulkhead and you're staying there for a bit. That's what it looks like. You see these S marks? Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this prop wash here, man. Look at these turns. These are tight turns. We're talking almost a V in the middle of the water. Going, bearing, stop on a dime and turn, fishtail.
Yep.
This is incredible. This is displacing so much water. I don't even know how to tell you. Underneath that aircraft carrier is a giant ballast that's roughly, like, again, the most of the ship is underwater. 33% of that vessel is underwater right now. You have no idea the stress that puts on that vessel. And for it to do what it's doing, if you expect a unlocked FA-18 Super Hornet, which is actually assigned to a tow vehicle, which makes it even more slippery and disperses its weight so it has less traction, isn't going to go off the side, hangar or not, then you're not paying attention. It is unfortunate. It happened. Let me tell you what else they lost. They lost their entire meal prep for dinner and tomorrow's breakfast prep. It's all gone. I'll also tell you what they lost. They lost half the people out of the racks. You know what else they lost? I guarantee they had a couple torpedoes hit the fucking deck. This whole ship looks like my children are living there. The whole ship is literally in disarray. But you know what? It's not sunk. So instead of losing a billions upon billions of dollars for this carrier, you lost a $70 million plane. Nobody gives a shit. Leroy, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, look, I've seen Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. They can do it. Navy can do it better. You know?
Yeah. So they saved, the Navy did it right. They lost an FA-18. Who cares? They saved us money. Okay? That whole vessel Dude, they are literally shore leave is canceled for a month as we re-clean our ship. I guarantee all the boatswains make paint. Blue paint is everywhere.
Yeah.
The blue paint is, dude, all the floors are covered with blue paint, and now they have to strip them and rebuff the whole fucking ship. Everybody's just like, God, I hate this job.
Right. I'll say this too. Like, you can imagine the stores that went everywhere, the food trays that went everywhere. Absolutely. That's going to be enough of a mess within itself. Thank you, Jean McLaughlin. She donated $5.65. Consider yourself bumped, Mel, with love. Nice.
So that's what happened, okay? And honestly, the captain, the CTTs, they did their job.
Yep.
Okay? They did their jobs. The early warning systems worked. They don't have a sunk carrier. And this is why the United States Navy is single-handedly one of the most lethal forces in the world. We get a lot of shit. But good luck trying to hit our carriers, because there's other things that I can't even tell you about that they can do. This is just one aspect of what they can do. Sinking a carrier ain't easy. It ain't. So relax. But I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot easier to kill a bunch of Houthis with a B-2 and MQ-9s. And they shot down 6 MQ-9 Reapers. But what they don't tell you is they're doing 1,500 sorties a day.
A carrier has got 90 aircraft on it, right? If they had to lose one to take some evasive actions to save everyone's lives, trust me, they don't care.
So be it. But you're running 1,500 sorties a day with these MQs. So those things are just being launched, and they're just taking targets and HVTs out left and right. They're taking out bases. They're taking out tents. Every time they see a green freaking bandana or a black ninja costume, they're taking that thing and flattening it. So we've lost 6 MQ-9s. Who gives a shit? That's what they're designed for, so we don't kill people. Reapers are supposed to get shot down. Who cares? At least it's not Blackhawks, okay? At least it's not Blackhawks. At least it's not A-10s. At least it's not our F-18s. At least it's not our B-2s. We're taking out unmanned drones. Cool. And we lost an F-18. You know what's hilarious? I bet if they checked the freaking serial logs, that thing was ready for decom anyway. And the captain's like, fuck it. We're not going to go back and get it. Let it sink. That thing's decommed in 6 months. Just relax, people. It happens. It happens. War is hell. You know what? And what's funny, if I could tell you how many have their freaking their front gear and their front suspension system ripped out because of cabling, if I can tell you how many times FA-18s lose their back hydraulics and bottom out, if I can tell you how many of them come up and dip a wing and brush against the deck and have to go and get repaired, folks, you're on an aircraft carrier and you're landing a plane on the size of the Empire State Building. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be accidents. You're going to have dips. You're going to have yaws. You're going to have rolls during landing. And these FA-18s, although amazing, they have wear and tear. Things break. Jeremy Foss says, like the show, $10.80. Hey, Jeremy, we love that you like the show. That's exciting to hear. New guy. We like new guys. FNGs. We'll remove the FNG and give you a rank if you give more money. So just FYI. We'll be right back.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Kat says, it's totally amazing that a ship that size can move that fast. That's not as fast as it can move.
Oh, no. That part's classified.
It can move
I'll say this.
faster.
I'll say this. If you really wanted to know how fast
you can do the math.
You can do math on your own. What you could do is look up some unclassified information about what the minimum speed is to launch an F-18 off the front end of that ship, right? and then assume that because they always launch them into the wind, it's just easier that way.
Drag coefficient. That's what it's called.
Then just assume for a second that they have to plan on launching aircraft on days when there's no wind. That'll give you an idea how fast they can go.
And that's still not as fast as they can go. Still not as fast. So that's all I'll say. Were the other ships that are supposed to be protecting the aircraft carrier, corvettes, and escorts? Yeah, of course. The battle group never breaks up. But that I'm not going to go into any details. I can't. I'm not going to say anything else. But a lot of people think that the other vessels are there to just be bullet sponges, and that's not true either. That's a last
frigates.
That's for you're such a dick.
Is for frigates.
It's right with the least amount of people. If you got a crew of 250, that's acceptable. It's for Admiral's like, how many are on board? Get in front of that thing now.
Same as losing an F-18 from their eyes. Honestly,
get in front of it. Jump in. It's really not what it's designed for, because you got to remember this: if you go ahead and you bullet sponge one frigate, or you take out a destroyer, that aircraft carrier is going to have multiple inbound warheads come at it anyway. You want to have your fleet stay up. You want the Aegis systems on those cruisers, on the frigates, on the destroyers to go ahead and engage those things. That's what you want. You want electronic countermeasures to kick in to protect the carrier. You want electronic jamming to go ahead and kick in and do that, and some other programs which I can't tell you about. They're not designed. Bullet sponge is the last minute. This isn't a B-25 where some fucking Spitfire jumps in front of a B-25 in order to go ahead and take the rounds coming in. It's not those type of things. But yes, I mean, they are designed to go ahead and absorb, but they have plenty of ECM to take care of those missiles. You don't want to lose any vessel, and they're designed not to. But in this case, the way it was launched, how it was launched, and here's the thing, the Iranian have intel vessels there that are actually spotting this, and they're actually guiding these type of things. This is why Iran is going to get knocked into next year if they keep this shit up. All it's going to take is, this was way too close for comfort. Pete Hegseth is not fucking around. We're going to send a message to Iran. Reagan hit the oil fields. I'm fine with it. Send them back in the next year. Send them back in the next decade. Send them back 50 years. If they continue this shit, let's go ahead and just take out, you don't have to take out all the oil fields. Let's take out 10% of their production and see what they think. And then do it again and knock it up to 25. Just take 10% of their production. Because honestly, 10% of their production is the cost of an aircraft carrier. So why don't you just do it? Just flatten one of their fields. And then just saying, so strike it. This is Iron Eagle 1. We have just taken out 10% of your oil refineries. I want to let you know that if you continue to fuck around, you will find out, and 90% of your rest of your production will be cease to exist until at least 40 years from now. Thank you so much. Oh, and if you rebuild, we're going to hit that too. Oh, and we also know about that new house that you have, and we're going to flatten that fucking thing too. Thanks.
Fair. That is completely
Seriously.
fair.
Watch this. This is what we were talking about earlier, and this is good stuff. This is a really good video. I've got two of them.
Let's look at the third element. Do they have a good old days? Can they say Donald Trump ruined things? They were so good under Biden. The border was, we liked.
Come on, folks. We're at 171. Let's go. Let's go. Please, please, please. Thanks. I want to go watch my game.
Loved it open.
That's Victor Davis Hanson, by the way.
Oh, he's a genius.
12 million.
Amazing.
We could have got 20 million.
Damn it.
Do they have a good old days? Can they say Donald Trump ruined things?
We're going to overheat. Hold on. Only thing that cools this computer down is donations. Just FYI, guys. It's so not true. It's okay. I'm milking it. I'm doing whatever we can. I want to hit this thing. Want to hit it. Want to go. Go. Watch the abs. All right.
Third element. Do they have a good old days? Can they say Donald Trump ruined things? They were so good under Biden. The border was, we liked it open. 12 million. We could have got 20 million illegal aliens. Let's go back to that. We had a wonderful retreat from Afghanistan. Picture perfect. We can do it again. The Iran, the theater war in Ukraine and Iran, that wasn't our fault. Maybe it was inevitable. We had a really good inflation. We had a little hyperinflation of 9%. So there is no alternative good old days. They can't say Donald Trump wrecked something because they had wrecked the country. So what are we left with? We're left with Donald Trump wore a blue suit at the Vatican funeral. Donald Trump is a fascist. No.
That's right.
According to Governor Pritzker, he's a Nazi.
Now,
according to Al Gore, he is a Nazi. No, according to members of the Congress, is he deserving of polite conversation? You have to use the F word, or maybe it's the SHI word. It's smutty mouth, potty mouth video.
Okay, well, I don't like that too much because I've been a potty mouth tonight. But this and this.
The Democratic Party and the left in general, if you look at the Democratic Party and the left in general, they have boxed themselves in. On the one hand, they have no institutional power, no ability to pass legislation, losing the House and the Senate, no presidency, White House, no executive orders. Ultimately, all of the cherry-picked district and circuit judges will be overturned by a largely conservative Supreme Court. In lieu of actual power, then you look at what is the alternative. Maybe the alternative is a 1994 Newt Gingrich contract with America, an alternate agenda. Yes, we can do better on the border than you can. Yes, we have a better foreign policy with Iran. There's nothing. There's no shadow government. There's not a young Bill Clinton ascendant. There's no young Barack. There's nobody. There's no leaders. There's no agenda. Nothing. It's nihilism. If you look at the Democratic Party.
So I want to get your opinions on this, but listen, it's not that the Democrats don't have people who can do this. It's not that Democrats can't find a talking head to go up there and be likable. What are they going to say when they get there? What do you expect them to run on? They don't thank you, Lois. They can't run on immigration. They can't run on the border. They can't run on the economy. They can't run on national defense. They can't run on nationalism. They can't run on energy independence. They can't run on family values. They can't run on sensible abortion regulation. What can they run on? What is, just tell me, what does the Democratic Party stand for? I keep hearing free speech and equity and bringing people together and inclusiveness and compassion. I hear all those things. How? Lay it out for me. LEEROY, go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy. I just know this guy. He gets you fired up too. He gets me fired up. It's exactly what we've been saying for the last hour and a half. Where do they go from here?
Well, and I think Victor Davis Hanson is hitting on something that we've already hit on, and I probably pulled it from him. Like, full credit to him if I did steal this from him, because I'm sure I did at some point. But to answer your question, Matt, where do they go from here? I have no idea, because that middle ground has been taken up by Trump, because the left went so far left as to only care about transgenders, as to only care about name calling, or to stick to have transgender parties in the White House lawn where people are flashing their titties. It was unbelievable. Where do you go from? You have now lost the middle ground. So if you went back 5, 6, 10 years, right, you could say that the policy differences that separated the parties were based on abortion, inflation, employment, guns, immigration, and taxes. Well, we have already
size of government.
Exactly. And largely due to Donald Trump's successes in a lot of those areas, right? And he gave up some room in terms of guns with the bump stocks. I get that. Some of his stuff I'm not that thrilled about, and I can critique that, right? But he has shown so much success on some of those middle ground issues that the left has just said, that man is bad, and now we have to travel further left on the political spectrum to find another issue, and this is where they're at. Now, they're now backed up against the wall, and the only thing that they can care about is proclaiming that MS-13 should be free, that transgenders are real, and that drugs should be flowing for everybody. This is the only thing that they have left.
And you're stupid.
And I'm stupid. Yeah, that too.
And you're stupid. You're a stupid nano boo-boo head. Let's go over this. Let me. Those are some fighting words. Seriously, why don't I go ahead and tell you a little bit about what Donald Trump's done? I was going to release this as my video tomorrow, but hell, I'll just do it now. You ready? Second month of record low border crossings. Coast Guard seized 125 tons of cocaine after the fleet repositioning. They repositioned the fleet. Listen to me, 120 freaking 6 tons when they repositioned the Coast Guard and took them into new lanes. The Coast Guard's been sitting in the exact same spots for 5 fucking years. They just said, we're going to reposition them. And they caught 126 tons of cocaine. Mexico turning back 500,000 people before reaching the border. They issued a record 26,000 loans to small businesses in Trump's first 100 days. 26,000 loans. Damn. 260 loans a day. Manufacturing loans are up 38%. Startups are up 54%. What did LEEROY and I always said? He said, actually, 96% of the economy is based on small businesses. 54% more startups than before. Modified loan applications to require citizenship verification. Elon Musk, he didn't get his trillion, but they did identify $150 billion in government waste. The Trump Gold Card is operational. It's my understanding that they have already done like how many billions of dollars? Almost what? $250 billion in gold card sales already? Are you kidding me? End weaponization and politicization of intelligence community. Found 700 alien terrorists plus 600 with terrorist ties. ODNY 25% smaller, saving $150 million by closing DEI slush funds. USAID is shut down. Sent criminal referrals for classified leaks. Canceled $22 billion in grants, launching largest deregulatory action in history. House voting removed California's special emissions authority. Lower the home heating costs. Makes cars affordable again. That's the EPA. Holding back funds from universities over anti-Semitism. Department staff have become reduced by 50%. Student loan collection is resuming after a 4-year hiatus. Banning 9 petroleum-based synthetic food dyes, removing soda from food stamps program, Operation Stork Speed for baby formula quality, ending fluoridation after IQ impact research, autism study results by September, opening land and offshore leases to unleash American energy, first lease in the Gulf of America already sold, coal resources on public lands worth estimated $8 trillion, brought in over $5 trillion of overall investments over the next 10 years of large businesses, including NVIDIA, multiple AI companies, and data centers. Of course, peace talks with several countries scheduled for next week, cracking down on student visas for anti-American activities. 47 wrongfully detained Americans returned in the first 100 days. The first 100 days also, you had the J6 pardons, you had the JFK and RFK releases, you have gas dropping, egg dropping, 0.01 on overall cost increase, negative. For the first time since COVID, it's only 0.1% of a decrease in the price index, but at least it's going down. And Q2 projections are supposed to be off the charts. What's wrong with America? You're stupid. That's what's wrong with America. You're all just fucking dumb.
Here's and that's a long list, right? And there's a lot to go through. Let's not do that, but I will say this. I am interested to find out in the next quarter, when we're talking about that 92% negative coverage from the media, I want to know what the next quarter stories are going to be. When all of this starts coming to fruition, right? Inflation drops even further, GDP goes up. You know, when all of these, the policies that he's putting in place now, when they really start taking root and bearing fruit, I want to know what the media portrayal will be in 6 months' time.
Well, they're already doing it. I mean, listen, I said this last night. The next 100 days of Trump will be more important than the first 100 days. And I said this with LEEROY on the show the other night. I believe that. I do. Because at some point, that's when Americans are going to go, wait a second, this is getting better. It's getting better. And it's like the postman. It's getting better all the time. And I made a mistake. It's not billion. I'm sorry. 500 million is what he sold. 100 gift cards or gold cards at 5 million. So that's 500 million. Sorry, not 250 billion. It doesn't matter. My math is off. That's why I'm not a mathematician. Either way, it comes down to this, folks. If everyone gave and bought $5 gold cards from the Don't Unfriend Me show, we would hit goal. We are $108 away. It's 2102. It's 902. I've got a couple more topics. I believe we're gonna hit goal. So I'm gonna go into overtime. All right, 256. Okay, that's a great donation. You're bumped. I appreciate the donation. It's gonna take a little more than that. A little more gas on the fire, folks. I'm gonna need you to. There's nothing wrong with some kindling, but we're gonna need a big log on the fire. So let's get that.
Hey, but I love the momentum.
I love the passion.
Keep
No.
it up.
Yep. I'm not talking. That's a great donation. $2.56, $1. That's perfect. We need some everyone to do that, or we need a couple big hogs.
Better than the 8 inches that I have. Yeah.
You're being way too kind. I have something to show you, as I always do. This guy. Democrats are now fighting for foreign extremists. You may have heard of Mohsen Mahdawi. Maybe Wadahi Dawahi.
I've never heard of
Mohsen Mahdawi. Dude, Islamic guy. Okay? Went into a Vermont gun store and said he had extensive firearm experience and used it to kill Jews in Palestine. We deported this guy. And of course, Democrats are doing what? Defending him. He's just an innocent man. He's just a peaceful protester. Here's what it says. Mr. Mahdawi is 34 years old. He was born and raised in West Bank. He entered the United States illegally in July 2014, was married for some years to an American citizen. He's been a legal permanent resident of the United States for 10 years. His permanent resident card, green card, confirms he has been a resident since January 15th. He is stating that this is retaliation for protected free speech. No, he has a green card. He's in our country, and he's called for the death of Jews. Has been classified as a terrorist threat. Here is this lovely guy. I've actually found a couple of videos just to show you what type of guy he is. I mean, this peaceful protester, this kind, loving Jew hater. This protest, this counter protest, was about bringing the actual hostages home. And this guy decided to go ahead and have his bullhorn. You know, being annoying shouldn't be a part of free speech. I'll tell you what. This is...
We need this baby back home. Yes, we need the babies home. We need the thousands of babies. We need the thousands of babies that you killed in Gaza. We need the thousands of babies that you killed in Gaza. Bring them home after this. Bring them home after this.
Listen, free speech is protected. But if you are on a green card in the United States of America and you denounce the United States, if you denounce Jews, if you say river to the sea and all this other type of stuff, that is free speech. There's no doubt. It's free speech. You can say whatever you want. And we can go ahead and reject your green card out of spite. Because that's our speech. And our speech is just as good as your speech. And our speech is fuck off and go home. Leroy, your thoughts? Thank you, Kev.
Completely agree. The Kevster donated at $5.65 because every donation helps, and he's right. Thank you, Kevster.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. You know, when we're talking about free speech, I completely agree with you, and we have covered this on the show before. One of the biggest things that I have always been an advocate for is that Once you accept exemptions to free speech, you have to accept that those exemptions can be used against you later. So I am all for being able to say what the hell I want to say, right? Because those guardrails that the Democrats love to put up, right? What those are isn't about speech; it's about what you think. Jordan Peterson hit on this, and the idea is that if they can control what you say, then they can control what you think. That's not acceptable to me. And so I
have
agree.
free speech, right?
I agree in the free speech, and I agree that this is annoying as shit. Yeah.
But how
it's the
is it?
It's the paradox of intolerance, right?
All right, but if you're an American citizen and then they go ahead and deport you to Slovenia and say, Merry Christmas, you're out of here. You get sent to Estonia with Princess Diaries. That's a little different. But if you're on a green card and one of the parameters of having an application on a green card is that you cannot denounce and take terrorist activities against the United States, then that's not suppressing free speech. It's enforcing the law. So
exactly.
That's my point. This isn't suppression of free speech. You're an effing. This guy said that he used to make guns and submachine guns to murder Jews in Gaza.
Right.
And he's applying for a firearm.
Admission.
That's enough.
That's an admission.
You just
We
admitted you murdered people.
Right. We just got done talking about how we should be holding each other accountable. Thank you, CJ, for the $31.40. I want you to be able to watch your hockey game, Matt, and lose.
I want to watch it too. I really appreciate that. Debbie says, hit goal for feet pick. You don't want to see my feet. Listen, there's a lot of things on my body that I have no problem showing off, but my feet are not one of them, lady. I have the highest arch known to man. That thing, literally, I look like the St. Louis arch. I almost didn't get in the military because my arches are so high because the Boondocks couldn't fit on me. Okay. Frank Wood donated $51.99. I love Guys Night. Keep up the great work. We will. Thank you, Frankie. We love you.
Thank you, Frank.
Tim Donahue. You two are the most stupid pair of assholes I've ever seen. What morons? You spend a lot of time looking at assholes, do you? So what you're trying to say is that you pitch and your boyfriend catches? Are they hairy? Do they wink at you? Do you put two B's on your boyfriend's ass to spell Bob? Is that what you do? Tim, you're horrible.
Somebody asked for this kind of abuse. Like, why would you come on the show and then say some dumb comment like that, just hoping to get a reaction? When all I'm going to do is laugh at you. You're an
just
idiot.
Lost. You just got crushed, dude. You just got crushed. Hey, how do you know your boyfriend's gay? His dick tastes like shit. See you, Tim.
Bye,
Tim, you got crushed. Tim, you don't walk into.
Bye, Felicia.
Listen, it's like walking into a kitchen and telling a chef how to cook. You're not going to walk into this show and win. It's just not going to happen. And dude, I've been doing this too long. My fucking liberal kung fu is too strong. I will break you. You must
break you.
No, you will lose. Tim, call in. 276-200-215. I want to simp on weak pussy blood. You come in, call Timmy. Come on, Timothy, call. I know who you are, Tim. I know who you are. I already know who you are. 103, Keith Baker. Hey, for morons, we're doing pretty good on money tonight. Look at that, Tim. Tim, I guarantee I made more in 2 hours than you made all day. Guarantee it.
Keith, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
You are, Keith. Thank you. Keith. I'm gonna get Tim to call in. Tim, I know who you are. You don't think I know who you are. You don't use capitals at the beginning of your sentence. You're the same fucking guy that I tore up on Justin Barclay, who said, I'm gonna prosecute you. You're the same guy. I know who you are. You type just like him. You put a space after your punctuation on both sides. Do you know what we did for a living? Do you know how easy it is for me to tell who you are just by the way you fucking type? And you use Tim in your name. That's how bad. And you picked Donahue. Really? And you went on YouTube. Nope. Come on, Tim. Come on, Timmy. Be better than that. Don't be like Kamala Harris. Look at Kamala Harris.
Poor Timmy. Oh, she looks That's
great.
so
Did you see the Biden sticker? I did that.
So hot.
Does Hooters
That's
sell
somebody who has sold her body one too many times, now has to live in a fucking rental, but has such a bad drug habit that she can't cover the meds that are needed to cover up her genital warts. Yeah.
Tim, you're not going to call? God, cowards, off with your heads. We're going to go into LeBron James. Listen, this is why hockey will always be better than basketball. This is just a quick one. Dude, what a pussy. Sorry, I hate to use the word. I'm sorry, but dude, LeBron James, you are such a freaking wimp. You're a loser. The LeBron era of the Lakers is dog shit. You haven't won anything. You lose everything. You're a horrible player. You're a flopper. Yes, I understand that you're one of the greatest, but it's your attitude that makes you suck.
The floor here. James is down. 3 on is down. Randall picks up his third. Watch the close. Goes on.
Watch.
DiVincenzo.
Watch this.
Third time.
Oh, come on.
Well, that's huge. On the collision with Dante DiVincenzo.
No, you're going to see the replay like 6 times. This is like if Tim decided to show up at my house.
He had 8. Number 3 on Randall. Randall picks up his third. Watch the collision.
Oh, my God.
The floor here. James is down.
Dude.
What up?
I mean, what do you say? Listen, I don't care about basketball. I watch the Nuggets, and I'm hoping for them to win, but what are your thoughts on this? It's just crap, isn't it?
I swear that some of these athletes, they get paid millions and millions of dollars, and the first time they get a splinter in their pinky, and they're out for 6 months, and they're it's sad. It really is. I understand you guys have a skill, and I wish I had that kind of skill. I just wouldn't be such a bitch about it, I guess.
Hey, Tim, you notice how you double spaced your comma? Very similar to your punctuation. Dude, for a moron, it's amazing. 250,000 followers, and I picked you up by how you typed. I must be pretty fucking smart, bro. Just saying. I mean, I hate to toot my own labia, but I think I'm doing pretty good. So thanks, Timmy. Leroy, it's been a good night.
It has been a good night.
Let's end it on something fun. Everyone thinks AOC is running for president. Folks, I'm telling you, she's not running for president. This woman wants speaker. And that's where the power is, because that's where the fundraising is. And that's how she gets rich. This is what happened with Nancy Pelosi. AOC can fundraise. She is collecting, just like Trump did in 16 and 20 and 2024, all the numbers across the country. Patricia Good donated $21.10. Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate you. She is running for speaker, and she is collecting all of this information so she can hold the Democratic Party hostage with Bernie. And the reason why is because Bernie has received 33% of the vote in the primary. He's popular, and they love him, and they show up and vote for him. And the Democrats took it away from him in 16 and 20. So she's using him, and she's transferring the torch from Bernie to her. And when she owns that control by consolidating her forces and Bernie's, she's going to be in opposition that will split the party. And the convention will be a contested election in 2028. She wants power. She wants the speakership. And she's going to give the Democrats the election in her eyes, and she's not stupid. I told you, do not underestimate this woman. There was a reason why I said that. Here it is, and this is what Fox says.
You thinking about running for president or Senate?
Because of my Instagram post?
No, the video, the campaign style video. It's got everybody talking.
I mean, listen, it's a video, and frankly, I think what people should be most concerned about is the fact that Republicans are trying to cut Medicaid right now, and people's health care is in danger. And that's really what my central focus is. This moment isn't about campaigns or elections or about politics. It's about making sure people are protected.
You thinking about running?
It's a really good answer for a person who wants the speakership. I'm just letting you know, folks. Leroy, thoughts on this? Is she going to run for president? Do you really think?
She's well-spoken. She is, everyone knows that she's easy on the eyes. And that goes across both aisles, right? Her ideas are horrible, but that doesn't mean anything to have that job.
No. Yeah, especially with Democrats.
Nancy Pelosi held that position, and that was the crypt keeper, for Christ's sake. So
yeah,
I think she's got it. I mean, honestly, unless they can come up with somebody better, and by way of better, I mean hotter, I don't think they can swing it. So yeah.
I really wish Tim would have called. Tulsi Gabbard, last one for tonight, and then we are going to jettison the jet. Tulsi Gabbard is on talking about Fauci. Well, you're a day late and a dollar short, folks, because Fauci has a pardon, and it's a get out of jail free card. Civilly, you can go after him, but criminally, this guy is pretty much bulletproof. Here's Tulsi.
That we are working with Jay Bhattacharya, the new NIH director, on with, as well as Secretary Kennedy, is looking at the gain of function research that, in the case of the Wuhan lab, as well as many of these other biolabs around the world, was actually U.S. funded and leads to this dangerous kind of research that, in many examples, has resulted in either a pandemic or some other major health crisis.
Well, let me ask you specifically, because we already know that EcoHealth Alliance was partnering with this Wuhan lab to do gain of function research.
That's right.
We just have never been able to have somebody say, it was that exact experiment that led to this COVID bug. But have we gotten there? What's the new thing that you're digging in on?
We are working on that with Jay Bhattacharya, and look forward to being able to share that hopefully very soon.
Okay.
That specific
link,
correct, between the gain of function research and what we saw with COVID-19.
I mean, that would be extraordinary, because just so the audience knows, if that's true, if it was Peter Daszak's research with the Wuhan so-called bat lady that caused this pandemic, then we did fund it. Then Anthony Fauci helped fund the pandemic.
The thing that he denied over and over and over to Senator Rand Paul's questioning.
Doesn't matter
right.
now.
Under oath.
Under oath, exactly.
So
is it any wonder that he sought a preemptive pardon for anything during a certain period of time by President Biden before he left office?
And then strong-armed and smeared people like Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, anybody who came out and said, I don't know if that's natural. This actually smacks of lab.
And the reason why this is so important is not just what happened in the past. It's because this gain of function research is happening in biolabs around the world. I got attacked, and I think you saw this. We've probably talked about it on your show before.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of there, and it's a whole lot of nothing burger, because nothing can happen to the guy. You just said it. He's got a preemptive pardon, which means anything he did. It doesn't matter. People. A preemptive pardon basically is a declarative statement that says anything you've said on this show, Leroy, for the last 4 years cannot be used against you in the court of law. Doesn't matter what you said. It can never be used against you for libel or any. You can admit that you.
Right. Isn't that kind of an authoritarian move too, to basically protect your
constituents?
That's a way to protect your constituents in a way where you know that there was something nefarious going on, and now you need to issue this blanket pardon to say, look, when it comes out, because it will, we're not going to hold you liable. I'm going to make sure that happens.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Thank you for killing, 10 scores of Americans and tons of beagles, and sinking the world into a recession and forcing everyone to wear masks and lose brothers and sisters. And thank you for that, Fauci.
Thank
and
you,
here's
China.
your bonus.
Yep. Thank you. You're a millionaire. Yeah, and wait till you see tomorrow, where I've got evidence of Joe Biden releasing sex traffickers and sexual predators back into the general populace, and they knew about it. I'll show you that too. Can he be pardoned before accused of a crime? Yes. It's called a preemptive pardon. Anything he did, anything, he cannot be criminally tried for. They can get him civilly.
Ridiculous.
All
right, listen, I need to jump, but before
you got weekend drill, don't you?
I do, but I need 30 seconds to drag on somebody who was talking smack on the internet. Matthew Aberline, if you're listening, and you will be listening, I guarantee it. I can tell that you're one of those obese, left-loving kind of guys. Maybe you troll around on the old Craigslist looking for love in all the wrong places. I can tell your house is from the 1920s and it needs a new fresh coat of paint, and that you're probably either borderline homeless or need a job. And if that's the case, please reach out to me, and we'll see what we can make happen. I'm sure I can have you cut my grass or something.
Should we donate to him? Should we?
I think we need to.
Can the Supreme Court undo pardons? No. It's a presidential order. It's a presidential directive. Unless you can find that there was some sort of criminal malfeasance along with those, and an auto pen is not it. You guys, do you understand that billions upon billions of dollars in home loans could be negated because you auto-pinned? It's an acceptable form of signature, and it's a verified signature. Once it's verified, it doesn't matter. It's not going to work. You guys, nobody's going to be held accountable.
No.
Nothing's going to happen.
I know that everyone thinks that this is one of those Pandora's box type deals where tons of legislation can be reversed. No way.
It's never happen. It's not going to happen, because then every pardon is questioned by every president, and then it becomes political lawfare. The Supreme Court will kick it back. It will not be heard. You guys, Hillary Clinton stood on her hands at 3 a.m. in the morning and allowed American and ambassador and military veterans be killed. She lied about it to Congress. She fucking deleted 33,000 emails. She bleach bit her computer. She had Blackberries hammered and destroyed. She negated a cease and desist order. She took compartmentalized TSSCI information and programs out of a SCIF, installed them on an unsecure server, and she's not in Leavenworth.
She had the banners stripped off of classified emails, which is illegal. You can't do that. And then destroyed the evidence.
33,000.
Then destroyed the evidence to say, there's nothing to see here. I didn't do those things, only to find out later, yeah, you did.
Nothing is going to happen.
Nope.
These people go to the same colleges. They go to the same churches. They've been grown and groomed from the same society. They go to lunch together. Republicans
they go to
and
the
Democrats,
same yacht club, folks.
They're the same fucking people. They will not hold each other accountable, because if one goes, they all go. The only way you can do it is that it's insurmountable evidence that just kind of rolls out. This is why, listen, as many crimes as we know that these people do, why can you only name like 5 or 6 senators and state legislators who've been ousted? Al Franken, Matt Gaetz, George Santos, Bob Menendez. Can you name more?
Wiener.
Out of all the years, why? Because it has to be insurmountable evidence. It has to be a call from both sides. They decide to take somebody down together. They will never, ever hold each other accountable. Nothing's going to happen. Not one thing. And the moment that you start realizing it is the time that you can start getting the sniff test out. And only thing that they'll have against you is, you're stupid. Just like that guy. You guys are fucking morons. Okay, Timmy. I'm not taking down the picture of your wife. Sue me. I'll keep you in court for fucking 5 years. I will bankrupt you. I will fucking represent myself, and I will destroy you. I will take every penny that you have spent your life saving for retirement, and you'll have to go back to work. You'll have to go back to the Harlan County mines. And you'll never leave Harlan alive, motherfucker. Take me to court. I dare you. I'm going to prosecute you for putting up my wife's picture. God, what a douche plow.
I love you guys. Our trolls. I love our patriots. I love the people who donate.
Oh, yeah.
I love you guys.
I do too. Hey, and sorry for the language in the last part, but we had fun. Folks, tomorrow night, it's Olivia, myself, will be on Friday night. It'll be a good show. It'll be a fun show. It's Red Friday. We're going to go watch the Avs right now. Go watch some hockey. Go take care of somebody. Go kiss somebody. and go have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Leroy, thanks, brother. It's always great having you. Thanks for us hitting goal, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
See you guys.
Peace.
The Dumb Show, May 16th, 2025, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. One goal,
what is
one
that?
night, one chance. Chris
Probably.
Bronto, Laura Logan, Roseanne Barr, Jason Shepard, T.S. Dixon, Damani Felder, Barry Morgenstern.
That scared the hell out of me,
Ray
Haiti.
Samuels, Lisa Regina.
It was just Hayden, guys.
One
Sorry.
night only. The race to 20K
Greg Ward
is
says,
on.
open the vent before the
Be
show,
part
Liv.
of it.
Oh, I love you guys. You're the best. See you tomorrow. That's so funny. See you guys tomorrow. Good night.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.